fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, Izuku Midoriya has lost control. Something is going on within his own biology that is currently unknown. Along with that, William is currently mustering his forces and getting the strongest of the strongest Lycan that he can get. Now, we did actually then have Selene and Melissa walk into a Lycan fight club, encounter the human Bakugo, and then actually take him away. They were, however, followed because of the lingering scent of a human and a vampire. Now, with that being said, Bakugo was able to reveal to Ochako that he's not crazy, with Melissa and Celine's help. Now, with that being said, that was roughly about, let's say 3 days ago, as we do have Bakugo Katsuki, who he is currently walking through a vampire coven. And he's looking around, as so is Ochako. So, I'm confused. This place has been around for how many years? Centuries, actually. Okay, centuries. In terms of time, I believe this one was built around, let's see, I believe 700 years ago. Oh, what? Yes, however, this one was built rather later. In fact, we've been trying to settle them all around the world. Our species has been around for a long time. Yeah. It's all kind of weird to me, Bakugo. Okay, but where is this guy? Now, somebody would actually walk up to Selene and ask her why they brought humans. They know Izuku. What? Really? Yes, they knew him whenever he was still human. And a child. Now, I would shut your mouth. Yes, ma'am. Now, this is whenever Bakugo would see the fear in the guy's eyes, along with the strange hunger. Now, they would then walk into the room where Midoriya is being held, as he currently does just sit to a wall, and his body is covered in heavy steel chains. As Bakugo would go to run up to Midoriya, Melissa quickly throwing out her hand and grabbing him, as she almost hurts Bakugo's shoulder or breaks his arm, telling him not to get close to him. Now, Bakugo is confused as Midoriya is going to try and stand up and lunge forward, as he just looks like a feral monster screaming at him the way he is. Jesus! Yes. We've been trying to find a cure, and Marcus, this happened after him. Who's Marcus? Midoriya's uncle, the first vampire. What? I thought you said you've been around for centuries. We have. Long ago, them giving the story. Bakugo surprised to hear how Midori is a special case. Now, this would be whenever she does then explain. William, the first werewolf, should have never been able to turn back. And with everything going on, things are getting worse. Now, with that being said, we do have over with William, as he's finally had a bit of things go on, and he's been learning from some of his lieutenants and closer allies, or the strongest Lycan around him, about how the world is now. Lycans are in every country. They are in every vital part of this world, and they can take it for themselves. So, he's going to be giving orders in just a few short hours. And he wants the world to know that they exist, and that humanity is going to fall to them. Now, with that, we do actually have later that night, where there is two different teams for William. Him and his allies, along with some Lycan, who are going to be causing some chaos in the city to distract pros. Now, with that, the plan does go as expected. Lycans being to cause chaos, ripping apart pro heroes and killing tons of civilians, along with biting many and turning them into Lycan, since tonight is a full moon. Now, this is the perfect time, as we do have William who does actually rip and tear his way through a news station, as he does throw open the doors and toss a pro hero in, as the pro hero goes slamming onto the table before flying over and behind them, as he would walk in and begin to revert back to his human form. Security trying to stop him as they are quickly gunned down by his lieutenants, as he would then go over to the table where two humans are currently sitting, and he would grab both of them by their hair, as he was going to slam their heads down the table, asking how this contraption does work. Them trying to explain. He says words that he wants everyone to hear, and people can already see him, as if they're standing there in the room. Him saying, good, good. He can't keep up with how advanced the technology is of this time. Now, we do then currently have over in a vampire coven, where there are elder vampires, and they're currently discussing battle plans as to how to deal with the Lycan, and if they need to make a final push or request for more death dealers, and try to do a clean slate protocol. Now, this would be whenever somebody does come running into the room, and they do interrupt the meeting. Now, the elders are annoyed, and they keep trying to wave off these people running in. However, somebody does come running in, a death dealer, informing them that they aren't going to believe what's happening on television right now. A few of them confused, as she would just explain to them that you do have William, the first Lycan on live television. Them confused, asking how he got free of his chambers or his holding cell. Her explaining that this isn't a feral William, and that does confuse them, as they do see William in his human form, as he does begin to start changing into himself, him biting into the news reporters and explaining to everyone that one of these news reporters might turn, or they could both possibly die. However, they will see it for themselves. Now, the world does watch, as both news reporters do turn into Lycan, and they quickly do begin to start shouting and screaming before ripping apart their own co-workers. Now, William does then laugh, talking about how, and vampires aren't the only ones to exist. You also do have his fanged brethren, or the other side of the table, the other side of the coin, as he heard the phrase used. Vampires and death dealers. Now, William does explain that this is a call to arms for all of his people, all of his children. Now is the time to fight for the world that they deserve. Fight for the world that they need to take with their own hands. Now, as this is said, law enforcement in multiple government agencies, along with other countries, Lycan activity quickly skyrockets, and so do the death dealers. They are all trying to preserve this secret. However, it's too widespread and too far spread. This isn't something you can just cover up. It's known. It's public knowledge at this point now. Everyone knows they exist. They're screwed. There's no going back. Now, with that, we do actually have Inko, as she's currently sitting down in a relatively hidden location. And she is watching that. As she does think, if this man is, well, named William, and he's the first of them, what does that exactly mean? Along with that, how is she supposed to feel? Her wondering if she should head back to Japan. And just thinking about it. What could she do though? As she does just think, her going to set down a tip on the table. As she is going to leave the restaurant. Thinking that she should just stay by herself for a few days. Heading back to a cabin she does have in the woods. Now, with that being said, we do pick back up with Celine, as she does begin to start contacting other covens. And they do try and piece together everything quickly. With the reveal that vampires and the other species do exist, this is all hands on deck. They need to make sure they can go into hiding, disappear for a century or two, possibly even 5. Over time, humans will forget about them. This will happen again. This has happened before. So, what they need to do is they need to go to secure locations and make sure to lock down and go into hibernation. Now, with that being said, the vampires do view this as a proper time for the extinction of Lycan. Since vampires, yeah, they're harder to look at and find sometimes, but a Lycan, that you can see clear as day. There's no hiding something that it doesn't look human, especially with the way the world is now. People with quirks similar to the werewolf abilities or vampire abilities are being hunted down indiscriminately, along with these 2 species. Now, with that, Celine has contacted the other covens, and has informed them that they can help. However, with Celine the traitor, at a coven, this does pose multiple questions, as they do want to know why. Now, she does explain that she is at this coven because it is where they've been housed up at for a while, and that they've currently been trying to deal with William. Now, they are confused, asking exactly how do this happen, and if Celine does know any information that can help. Celine explained that it happened because of the encounter with the abomination. Now, this does not make any sense. However, well, Melissa does come on the radio, explaining that that's a bit more than just the encounter with Izuku the hybrid. The encounter with Midoriya and him, she doesn't know exactly how it went down. However, the two cross-contaminated each other's strain of the virus, Along with that, she believes that there was another component within William's bloodstream that caused the mutation that they are currently dealing with. Now, they are confused. However, yeah, they don't have enough time for that. And they do begin to start making plans and contacting other covens. As we do have a few hours later, where the chaos has begun to die down in large cities. The hunting is still going on, and it's been a bit more unsuccessful for the humans. Certain humans are able to fight easily, and others are struggling hard. Now, this would be whenever Celine and Melissa would make their way to this coven. And they do arrive early in the morning, or let's say around 9 o'clock in the morning. And this is alarming, since they do both pull to the gate. And the guy would watch as he spits out his, well, blood, or whatever he's drinking. And he does talk about how there is a daywalker, or a human. The other one saying that that can't be, as they would run over and say that that's Celine the traitor, and she's in broad daylight. Them opening the gate as she has explained that she can help. Now, they do lower down to the defenses, and Celine and Melissa do walk in. The elders do give Celine a bit of trouble, or at least a bit of chewing out, because of her bringing a dog into the coven. However, she has explained that this is their ally. And you do actually then have the other, well, thing that they're curious about. How can she walk in the sun? Her explained that Izuku Midoriya, the abomination as they call him, he once bit her, and she gained this ability. Now, this is a blatant lie. However, she does want this to seem true. And it's all supposed to look this way. If they believe that Midoriya can turn people into daywalkers, then they're going to want this. They're going to want to be on his side. Now, they do explain that they want to try and make a world where they can exist peacefully. Lycan and vampires coexist, along with humans. However, this new war they find themselves in, it's about more than that. This is a war against extinction now. And the elders do try and explain their plans. However, Celine does explain. As long as there is the looming fear of a vampire takeover or a Lycan takeover, people won't stop. They'll find more, they'll do anything they can. Hell, the species might return one day, but what's going to happen then? It's all just going to happen over and over again, until one species is left remaining on this earth. And if it isn't the human race, those species would go extinct very quickly. Now, this does concern the elders, as they themselves are thinking, and they do want to know what Celine might have planned. Her explaining that since Midoriya did bite her, she can turn people into daywalkers with some of her blood as well. This being her way of explaining it away. She wants them to look at Midoriya the same way the other people in the coven look at him. He's somebody they need on their side. He's valuable. And he cannot be replaced. Now, she would give some of these elders blood just so that she can gain their trust. However, she doesn't want to give out far too much at one time. Now, one elder is changed, and another is sort of confused by all this. wondering about how they could possibly coexist with the dogs. And then stating that you do then have this one, pointing at Melissa, talking about how the dog shouldn't even be allowed in here. And Melissa, she does get angry, talking about how this is bigger than their little game they like to play. They are all currently going to be hunted down by humans. And she does ask if they think this is funny. Well, no, of course I do not. However, we have the skills, training, and resources to get by. Yes, and last time I remembered it was the way I've been told you can't win against a bunch of dogs because we outnumber you. Now, multiply that number by 700,000. I do not like this one. Yes, because I'm a smart mutt. I won't bark for you if you ask me if that's going to be your next question. Smart. Now, with that being said, the elders do begin to work with Celine, as they do want to formulate a plan. And, well, the world is going to hell. So, how will it end? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.